All right, this time we are going to use the unit circle, which is our favorite circle, to evaluate trig functions and to find angle locations. Okay, so let's first start with talking about, how does this all relate in terms of equations? What is the equation of the unit circle? Hopefully we know that it's x squared plus y squared equals, what's the radius of a unit circle? Very good, class. 1. Just keep in mind that, the unit circle equation is a relation, not a function. Why? You know why. The question that always comes up is, do I have to memorize the unit circle? And my response is, never memorize things. Come on. But you do need to understand the unit circle. We will use the unit circle for the rest of the school year, so you are expected to know/understand the unit circle, not necessarily memorize. Okay, so there's a pretty picture of the unit circle that, if you really like it that much and you're just like so passionate about it, maybe make a cool tattoo. I don't know. Wonder if anyone's ever done that before. Probably. We live in a strange world. All right, so let's find the value of trig functions at a given angle. So we know that the tangent of pi over 4 is 1. Sine of 11 pi over 6 is negative 1/2. Secant of 4 pi over 3 is negative 2. You guys can read, right? Okay, good. So based on these values for the sine and cosine functions given, and your understanding of the unit circle and right triangle trig, and your previous knowledge, what is the general conclusion you can draw for how sine and cosine relate to the coordinate points at an angle on the unit circle? Go ahead and write a response. All right, this is what I would have said, just that sine is associated with the y value, cosine is associated with the x value. And notice the importance of the colors on this page. You have green and yellow or gold. It's a really, really important team in the United States with those colors. Okay, anyway. So also based on our knowledge, blah, 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 the main question here is how can you determine the tangent, cotangent, secant, and cosecant related to the coordinates on the unit circle? I'm ultimately asking the same question as above, but with different trig functions. Ready, go. All right, so this is what I said. Tangent is y over x, cotangent is x over y, secant is 1 over x, and the cosecant is 1 over the y value. And notice that I wanted to be inclusive. I know there's some Bears fans out there, so I used, navy and orange, but, just so we know where I'm at here. Cheese. Okay. So based on your conclusions and just knowing the unit circle in general, what are the domain and range of the sine and cosine functions? Please write down your answer at this time. In case you were wondering, here you are. So moving forward, now what I'd like you to do is evaluate the following trig functions at the given angle. So I'm not asking you to go to your calculator. Please don't type these things in. Use the unit circle and see what you come up with. Go ahead and put me on pause. All right, so we can check our answers here. The easiest way to do this is, for example, sine of pi. Go to pi, find out what the y value is at pi. It is 0. Secant of 13 pi over 3. Well, we know that that's the same thing as the secant of pi over 3 because it's a coterminal angle, right? Similar here, this is the same thing as the cosecant of negative 5 pi over 2, which is also the same thing as the cosecant of negative pi over 2. So you would have gotten the same answer there. So if you are ever asked to do these, you could always think about their coterminal angles, which we know how to find. So now we're going to be asked to do kind of the reverse of what we were just doing in both degrees and radians. So this time you're told, for example, that the tangent of theta is negative square root of 3 over 3. So now how do we figure out, well, what value, both in degrees and radians, would give that to us? So I'll do the first example with you and let you try the rest. So tangent of theta equals negative square root of 3 over 3. Well, I know one of my answers here would be 5 pi over 6. Why is that? We'll go to 5 pi over 6, right? And then divide your, since it's tangent y over x coordinates, and then see what you get. All right, which that radian is 150 degrees. Likewise, because we could have potentially multiple answers here. Because look at our domain from 0 to 360 and 0 to 2 pi. Another potential answer here is 11 pi over 6, which is at 330 degrees. Why is that? Go to this part on your unit circle, divide your y over x, see what you get. All right, go ahead and try the next 3 examples, and then we'll check. All right, so let's check our answers here for cosecant of theta being undefined. I really looked at where, it would give me 0 as my denominator, so that would be at 0 and 0 degrees, and pi and 180 degrees. For sine of theta equaling negative square root of 2 over 2, I looked at where my y value is negative, so that would be at 5 pi over 4, 225 degrees, or at 7 pi over 4, 315 degrees. And last but not least, secant of theta equaling negative 1, that would be at pi and 180 degrees.